Hi guys, welcome to Praying for Insanity. As promised, I told you I would be back on here and I was going to talk about my family and where, actually let's just start from the beginning of where I came from. So I want to talk about my mom's side of the family. A lot of times I say I come from a huge family, or we come from a huge family. We're always saying we because it's my mom's side of the family that I say I came from a huge family from. Both of my parents actually came from 7. It was just that my mom's side kind of multiplied a little bit more. Anyhow, on my mom's side of the family, there are actually 115, give or take 1 or 2. I might have spaced off a couple, but I don't think I did. My mom and I kind of went over it too. I was saying certain things today to her on the phone, and so I'm pretty close. And I do include like stepchildren and stuff that came into our family, because once you're in our family, you're in our family, and you're not included or excluded in anything, because we love you all and we love hard, and once we love you forever. But yeah, that side, my mom was the first girl in their family. She had 3 older brothers, and then she came, and then there was 3 older brothers, then she came, then another brother, and then 2 sisters. So that makes the 7 kids in my mom's side. And then all of those guys had children, which that makes 21 of us original grandchildren. And us 21 grandchildren and our moms and dads and our grandparents would do a lot of things together growing up. And that's why we are such a close-knit, huge family. And it's not as close-knit as it was when I was growing up, and that's why I like to talk about it, because I sometimes think that life is rough and stuff, and no, it's not. I mean, things happen and you either get over it or you don't. And if you don't get over it, I apologize, but there's no sense in just sitting and not being happy about the next thing that happens, because you're so worried about the thing that happened before. Anyhow, our family has always been really close, and when we were younger, that was just above and beyond. We had the type of grandparents that made sure that family was just number one, and my grandpa McElroy made sure that we felt like we were number one to him all the time. He made all of us, all of his kids, individually felt something special with my grandpa, and all of us grandchildren, I am sure, felt something special with my grandpa. I know I did, and I know from talking to other cousins, we had him up on a pedestal. Not that he was a perfect person, but he was an excellent grandfather. He took us on places. This is a guy that would come and pick us up, and he would take us seriously. We lived in Iowa. Midwest Iowa. Actually, Tomo, Iowa, if you want to be specific. We lived there, and my grandpa would actually load us up in camper and take us to trips like Oklahoma. Just out of spur of the moment, let's just go to Oklahoma. Let's take the kids to Mexico. Not joking. We went to Mexico. There were Christmas breaks. You know how you have those Christmas breaks during school? We were that lucky family that our grandparents would be camping. They were winter Texans when we got older, like let's say probably from the age 10 on up, until my grandfather passed. My grandparents would stay in Texas, down on South Padre Island, or in Corpus Christi out on the bluff. They would stay down there from like October till April, and my grandpa's birthday was in April, so maybe that's why he came back sneakily. No, actually it's probably because the weather was getting better and they just did not like the cold weather anymore. But they did come back for the summer, the warmer months, to spend them with us and stuff. And those of our families who had campers and things, even if they didn't have campers, we'd stay in hotels. We would go down and see our grandparents in the winter. It was just kind of a fun little thing to do. And he would take us, like I said, we would go to Mexico, but seriously, from Iowa at one time, I remember driving in a camper forever, and we were going to Mexico with my grandpa. Insane. I was actually an Army brat. Well, my mom married into the service, and so I got to miss a couple of the trips, but I remember we were stationed in Oklahoma, I think after we came back from Germany. I'm not sure if I remember anything before going to Germany a whole lot. And I went to Germany when I was 5. And we came back, and we were stationed, my dad was stationed in Oklahoma for a little while, and I remember being super excited because my grandpa had just like loaded up his camper and brought like aunts and uncles and cousins down to see us. And I remember that like nothing. It was so crazy. I think it was a Christmas or something, but it was so intensely fun, and I remember being so excited to see everybody. And then when we finally moved back around the area, I was really happy. I love being around everybody. And my cousin Kim said something the other night to me, you know, when we were talking on Messenger. It was actually last night, to tell you the truth. She said, you know, when we went camping, we didn't even really take friends with us because we didn't need to. We had each other, and she is not joking. We didn't care. We had enough of us, and we had a blast. We played so many silly games. We would play house. Oh, and the boys would just tease us girls, the older boys, the two older boys. They would give me and Kim just so much crap. I always got crap because I had red hair, and I was the only one that had red hair. I had a cousin Jimmy that had red hair too, but mine was just like a carrot orange, a little bit brighter than a strawberry blonde when I was younger, and I always got teased for that. But because most of them, all of the rest of them, lucky turds, except for a couple had a couple dark hair. Like my sister came out with dark hair, but it blonded out. But most of them came out blonde hair and blue eyes, and it was just the McElroy trait. My grandpa had a reddish tint, but he was a blonde also. But I think that's where our red hair came from, because McElroy is obviously, it's an Irish name, so I just happened to get the red, and that's why I don't have eyebrows or eyelashes. I do, but they're so blonde that you can barely see them. But it doesn't matter. Like I said, I stuck out, but we had so much fun. We had the craziest, funnest childhood that I can imagine, and that's just one side. I mean, huge, huge, huge. And we are close to now, and we don't do things. We still camp together, but like not all of us, but quite a good chunk of us when they make a plan. Now my parents, I'll tell you what, my mom will live down there. She'll live at Lake Rathbun. In the summer, she sometimes will come home for 3 weeks. She'll come in and check on things and stuff. But yeah, camping has been our world. Hence the reason why I have their old camper. They like to camp also, and they knew I wanted one. This actually got sold to my son first, and then I buying it off my son. So it just stays in the family, and I've always wanted one. I've wanted one since my kids were little and just couldn't afford it. You know, taking care of kids on your own. A camper wasn't something I could afford back then, not even a cheap one. But anyhow, that's that side. I mean, there's more crazy stories that I'm going to tell you about that side, and I'm not going to get into all that kind of stuff because that kind of goes in with the, you know, where I came from. So I just wanted to let you know that size of it, how big it was, how close we are, how much we just are. You know, we love everyone, and some of us fight still, but we always make up, and we don't want to fight with each other because we know that our family means a lot to each other. And next time I see you, I will talk to you about my dad's side of the family. He too came from 7. He just doesn't have as many kids on that side as we do. I will have them totaled up also. I think I actually do, because that's how much difference it is. There aren't as many kids on that side, and that side isn't actually as close knit, but it's a whole different family. If you're one of those families, I mean, I have this crazy fun family, crazy yet fun family, and then I had this fun, crazy, calm family. All right, but there's 2 different walks of life. It was, and that's something I'll explain too in a different blog, because that's a conflicting thing, because that's an interesting story that I didn't learn for a little while until I was grown about that family also. But that's it for tonight. I am going to end this thing, and I am going to talk to you tomorrow about my dad's side of the family, and then we'll start going into a little bit more funny stories, and I'll still put up silly posts about what I've been doing for the day. But this is just to get you to know that's the one side of the family that I grew up with. When I say our family, us, we, they, or I came up from a big family, my mother's side of the family, the McElroys, are the side that I'm talking about most generally. If I say anything about the other side of the family, I'll say the Roberts side or my dad's side. But usually when I say we, they, are, I'm talking about us first, 21st, actually us older original cousins, because actually, I'm right across the street from one of them right now, and she's one that's like 5 years younger than I am, but her and I have been close since she was younger too, because her and my sister are only about 6 months apart, or maybe even maybe a little bit older apart, or farther apart than that. But they were really close. And my parents, my mom and her mom are sisters, and so those poor girls actually got dressed like twins sometimes, and it just drove them freaking crazy. They would get the same outfit, but maybe just different colors or something like that. Kim and I, when we got older, we kind of dressed similar, but that was by choice. It was like, oh, I like that shirt, so do I, or that pair of jeans, or whatever. But it was never, our moms didn't really match our clothes together like they did my cousin Robin and my sister Tracy. It's silly, but yeah, that just shows you how everybody was just so close, and we still are. They all are probably going to watch this and be like, oh, you better watch what you say, but I'm not going to. You know me. I love y'all. I'll see you tomorrow. Have a nice night, and don't let anyone take your happy. Bye.